Hey, hi, hello, howdy everyone, and welcome back to the Kore Kawari YouTube channel, where today we are going to be saving ourselves from midterms by redesigning a superhero. You read the title, you know what we're gonna do today. We're gonna be reimagining Miraculous Ladybug. So, without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. But before that, I'm doing this at the beginning of the video to see if it makes a difference. If you like the video, remember to hit the like button, and if you want to hear more of me, hit the subscribe button. Okay, into the redesign, into the reimagining. So, Miraculous Ladybug, the show that I think just about everyone who is a young adult online has some kind of opinion on, at least to some degree. I personally grew up watching Miraculous Ladybug with my younger sibling, who you may have seen in the comments sometimes, constantly bullying me forever and ever, amen. But I have had some opinions on Miraculous. We both have for a very long time. So today, what we're going to be doing, the reason why I call this a reimagining, is that I am acting as if I was put in charge of developing the show. It is not going to be the exact same as just redesigning it. I'm going to be imagining sort of a different setup for the plot. We're still going to be getting some familiar plot stuff, especially with the very villain of the week setup that Miraculous tends to have, or at least in the first few seasons had, but we're going to be playing by my rules because I wanted to have some fun with this world. So, we're redesigning Marinette first and foremost, because I had a lot of fun. I've had her design on lock for longer than I've had Ladybug's design on lock, and I don't know, I aged her up a little bit. Most of the cast are either going to be in their final year of high school preparing for their various Bach exams, which is the exam that French high school students take to graduate high school, or in their first year of university. In the case of people like Luca, I know that he's supposed to be Julika's twin, but I am sorry, I don't buy it. That boy is in his first year of university. Now, the story setup. I had a lot of fun coming up with this. I have been thinking about this for, no joke, months. This was supposed to be the first video that I posted, and then I got stuck on Ladybug's design, so we're putting it out now. Now, the world that I think would be more interesting to watch Miraculous Ladybug happen in is a little complicated. So, let me paint you a picture. Paris is one of the biggest cities in the world. We know that for a fact. It hosted the Olympics this past year. It's a pretty big city. I think most people, if not all people, could probably name it, if not pick it out on a map. I mean, I know I probably couldn't find it directly on a map, but I know it's in France. I know it's the capital of France. I know that it's a famous city. It's a historical city. And I think that if such a city were consistently being attacked by villains and monsters, that they would have something to say about it, the world. I think that people would notice that one of the biggest cities in the world was constantly under attack, constantly in danger, their citizens leading lives made safe only thanks to the work of superheroes. So in my Miraculous Ladybug, Paris has turned this into a bit of a tourist attraction. There are designated areas, sort of, for where each villain fight of the week will be taking place, and there is an official process to be registered to be akumatized, but you'll learn more about that later. There is also an official process to become one of the protectors of the city. You can apply, but it's rare that you'll be accepted. Most of the time, you have to be recommended by someone. And this recommendation typically happens as you are getting out of middle school and getting into high school. Most students that are recommended or enter training to try and become Ladybug or Chat Noir are students that have strong power, strong resonance with the various Miraculous that they are presented with in training, but they are also students that impress their trainers with their various characteristics, be it kindness or marketability. let's say. You know, we're getting a little cynical about the hero system here, a little One Punch Man. And so, in this system, there are trainees. They train physically, they train with basic combat skills and basic acrobatics, and then they move into training with the Kwamis. And this is the make or break stage. We begin to see whether or not they are able to be miraculous holders. And we also see whether or not the Kwamis like them. The Kwamis' decision holds very little sway, really. The people that control them will simply give the miraculous to a holder, and the Kwami kind of just have to listen. But, well, their opinion is asked, at least, if for no other reason than to give the appearance of caring. Marinette was one of those rare applicant students who made it through. She showed her prowess with a variety of miraculous in training, and she made her debut to the public using the mouse miraculous, bringing in a little bit of multi-mouse here. And she was at first thought of as, you know, a little bit of the weak link of her training group, because she was initially in the group training to potentially become the holder of the Ladybug Miraculous. But what really set her apart was that her kindness was tempered with a little bit of snark, and that made her marketable because it made her easy to get good video clips of. And she did not have this kind veneer that never wavered, never cracked, which was a bit of a breath of fresh air to the marketing team, who were looking to find someone that they would be able to post on Twitter and get millions of likes. I am having so much fun with this. I am sorry. I really, really like figuring out the logistics of cynical superhero stuff. But she made it through training, became the Ladybug Miraculous holder, and I will talk more about Adrian when I redesign him in the future. But she is... Let's get into Marinette a little bit. We'll talk more about Ladybug in the future, once we get to her redesign. Marinette is, as I mentioned, in her last year of high school. She is a senior in high school. She is going to be taking a fashion design Bach. I believe there is a specific fashion design Bach. If I am incorrect about that, feel free to correct me. But she is also pretty dedicated to being Ladybug. I mean, she does a decent job of it, and she is she's not necessarily naive. She knows that she was chosen to a degree for her marketability, but she views it as, I will use this platform that I'm being given to try and genuinely do good. And her heart really is in the right place. She is classmates with most of the others. She is, I don't know when her actual canon birthday is, but I thought that it would be funny if she was kind of the youngest in the class, and so they were like, you know, oh, Marinette, she's too young, she's too delicate, we have to protect her, she's the class baby, yada yada yada. And that was, to a degree, what blinded her classmates to her identity as Ladybug. But, you know, funny enough, her identity isn't a secret to everyone. Her and Chat Noir trained together, after all, so they know each other's civilian identities. And her and Adrian are in the same fashion design program, studying to take the same Bach. So they can cover for each other a little bit. They can give excuses when one of them is off performing heroic deeds and just needs a man on the inside who can say, don't even worry about it, they are totally fine and normal. I'm sorry, I don't like all of the identity reveal bait and switch that we've got. I think that it is tired and I am annoyed by it, and so I am doing away with it. They know who each other are. For Marinette's design, I wanted to give her a little bit of modern fashion, for lack of a better term. I mean, she looks like she knows what style is in the 2020s. Wow, shocking. I also, as you can see, I drew a little winter outfit for her in the bottom left corner because I don't know, I felt like it. I saw the outfit and I was like, this is cute and I want to draw her with her hair down anyways. So as you can see, she has a couple other piercings in addition to her ladybug piercing. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun. I gave her a gun that was probably a paintball gun that she used in practice. I just thought that it would be fun to give her a gun. I tried to convey this, I don't know how well it came through because this is just an unrendered sketch. She is quite strong, she has decent muscles, which she keeps hidden between her ladybug and civilian forms with the big poofy cardigan shrug that she wears. It doesn't always cover all of her arms, but it obscures her silhouette enough that people who see her more often as Ladybug can't tell that she is Marinette, and people who see her more often as Marinette can't tell that she is Ladybug. Now, let's get into Ladybug's design. I had so much difficulty with her design because my initial plan for her design was to make her look way more bug-like than the canon Ladybug that we get. So you can see in this first sketch, I redraw her legs about 1,000,000 times because I have no clue how I want them to look. And I was trying to figure out if I could get that bug-like look in there. In the end, I settled on just showing her normal legs and then showing the bug-like legs in the more dynamic pose, which I know it looks a little weird. This is a redraw of a pose from an official render of her 3D model. So I believe she has a 3D model. I think the show is animated with 3D models. Don't quote me on that. This is from an official render. And I don't like the pose, honestly. I think that I could have made it more dynamic, but as I stated, I have midterms, so I am just one silly little guy doing what I can. Now, I really like Ladybug's design. I feel like in this version, there's still that aspect of magic to it, but there's a little bit more technology too, because the group that oversees Ladybug and Chat Noir, they would have made a couple of suggestions to the Kwamis. And the Kwamis would have in turn incorporated some, I've been calling it nanotechnology because I think that that's the best way to articulate what I'm trying to describe, into the costumes. So the cape that you can see on her costumes can function either as wings or as a shield, which goes in front of her arms and attaches to the wrists of her arm guards. Her legs, as you can see, can transform into these more bug-like, sort of pointed, silly little shapes, but they also act as shock absorbers for the higher jumps that she is performing when she's jumping off of rooftops, swinging around, all of that. And of course we still have the mask to hide her face. Her hair is also tied back in a higher ponytail with the ribbon because I thought that the red looked nice. I thought that it stood out in a very pretty way. I also did away with the spandex suit that we see in canon and gave her a little bit more of a fitted dress almost with a high mesh collar, I think it would be, and the sleeves go down into, I imagine that they would probably be very flexible plastic or, well, maybe not plastic, very thick leather, probably gloves, that allow her to grip walls and climb more easily. And I really like her design. I think that she's pretty. But I think that the commission that chose her to be the next Ladybug, Marinette knew some of the other trainees, obviously. They were going out every day, and she was seeing them quite often. And Marinette, seeing the other trainees and hearing their own reasons for why they would want to be Ladybug, doesn't quite feel that she deserves it. She is honored to have been given the position of Ladybug, but there was another trainee that, even if she can acknowledge it would have been more dangerous for her to take the position, she's still she feels that that other trainee had a better reason for applying to be a ladybug than Marinette herself did. This trainee was the only other applicant to have made it as far as the Kwame testing stage, or the miraculous testing stage, and so Marinette feels a little bit of kinship with her for that. But as it stands, we should get to the beginning of our story. We've introduced one of the major characters after all. Now, our story begins in, let's say, the modern day. Let's say school is coming back into session in 2024, and this is the first time that the hero fights are back in business following the pandemic, which is canon because it makes me laugh and it gives a nice reason. Now, this is where the next Ladybug and Chat Noir are going to be making their debuts as heroes for the public, using the names Ladybug and Chat Noir for the very first time. This is also, coincidentally, when the next Hawkmoth would be making their debut, because, of course, if the heroes are passed down positions, it would make sense for the villains to be as well. They're in on the showmanship, and they get a nice outlet to release whatever destructive feelings they may have pent up. But when the scheduled time for the fight arrives, there's no Akuma. And Ladybug and Chat Noir are pretty sure they're at the right place. And then across the city, there's an explosion. And the old Hawkmoth seems to still be there. And they don't know what's up with that, but they're pretty sure he's not supposed to be. So they want to go check it out, and he makes a statement. He says, "Heroes, I know that you have fought me well in all our time, but I've decided. You're taking on successors? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be the last Hawkmoth that Paris will ever see. And you can either stop me, or I'll take your miraculous." And that is the setup for our Villain of the Week story. This was a lot of fun. I've been planning this AU genuinely, as I said, for months now. I have so much rattling around in my brain, and even just figuring out what I should say in this video was like trying to sort through so much. I have a rough outline of what I want to talk about in which videos for which characters, and I have a couple of characters already redesigned. I have Chat Noir's redesign already sketched out. I need to figure out Adrian. But I have a couple of others too, and there's, of course, that mysterious, miraculous candidate that we have not talked about yet. I have so many opinions on Miraculous Ladybug though, and I will share those next time I talk about it. Thank you guys for watching. I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope that every person dealing with midterms right now passes all of your midterms, passes all of your tests and all of your essays. You guys have got this. I will see you next week. Bye-bye!